What's up, my dudes? It's a Vigorous Q&A again, but this time it's Daddy Q&A because our daughter was born last Wednesday, not this week, but the week before. So about, what is it, 10, 11 days ago. So I'm now officially a daddy, as many of you guys have already seen on Instagram. So the good news is here, after 2 years of trying, we finally got it done. Please let me know how the video quality and the audio quality is. I was fighting with all of my settings yet again. Haven't done this in 2 weeks. Haven't been in the studio room for 2 weeks. I'm enjoying the daddy time and taking care of my daughter and my wife. So please, guys, let me know how the audio sounds and how the video looks. I see here 2 bars out of 3 on the StreamYard connection, and hopefully this audio is a-okay. Boogie audio again. Fuck me, man. All right, let me try again. What about this one? Is this audio any better? I just switched it. Video's good, okay. Fingers crossed the audio is better now. I made a small modification. Guys, let me know as fast as possible. Better? Is this good, or good enough? A little bit quiet. Man, can't seem to figure this shit out. All right, so hopefully this is good to go, and then we're going to get started. I just put this microphone in my mouth like I'm sucking a big black. Well, you know what I mean. No innuendo jokes, okay? All right. Well, let's get started. Hopefully this will be good enough. And I'm just at the mercy of technology nowadays because I didn't really have much time to do anything else besides daddy duty. So a couple updates, the clip channel is down below in case you haven't subscribed yet. And now's a good time to do so because I'm dropping 2 videos per day of previously recorded content, but now it's chopped up into bite-sized pieces with new thumbnails and new exciting titles for you to click on. So please give that a subscribe so I can get that monetized and, you know, compensate for all the withholding taxes that the United States has. July 4th Independence Day sales are now live at Gorilla Mind and Intelligent Shop. So you get 25% discount on the Bombsicle product. So any flavor that's in Bombsicle flavor, basically, or any product that's in Bombsicle flavor, you get 25% discount with code Vigorous. And at Intelligent Shop, the fragrances, if you buy them solo, they're 37% discount. But if you go with the bundle, I think it has 8 to 10 fragrances, all of them, you get a 53% discount with code Vigorous. And it lasts until, I think, Monday or Sunday to play it safe. So that, yeah, on Monday, it's the 7th. Yeah, today's Sunday. For me, it's Sunday. For you guys, probably Saturday. So it lasts until the 7th. So you got 2 days to make up your mind and get some discounts in. And then, then those discounts are gone and you get back to the regular 10% with code Vigorous, which is also a good discount, but not as good as these July 4th Independence Day sales. And for me, this is known as Welcome to Earth Day. That's how I got introduced to Independence Day, through the movie Independence Day. And then Will Smith obviously punches one of the aliens straight up in the face. Welcome to Earth on July the 4th. Oh, it was July the 3rd, right? And then 2 days later, they liberate the Earth from the aliens. The Follistatin deep dive, the Nandrolone deep dive, and the Ngenla long-acting GH deep dive are all pending. The Follistatin and the Ngenla scripts are basically done. The Nandrolone script is also done. I just did not have the incentive to really record. Don't be angry. Eventually, I'll get back to work. I told you guys a long time ago, when my daughter is born, you might have a hiatus of the Vigorous one, which is now in 100% in place. And I talked with Chase and a couple other parents, and they said, yeah, you might feel a little bit lazy and lethargic and not wanting to work or go to the gym much for like 6 to 8 weeks. So we're now 10 days in, 6.5 weeks to go. So I went to the gym 3 times this week. It's already enough. And I answered all my emails. I did all my consultations. You know what's funny? I closed off the month, what was it, June, as the best month I've ever had. And I've been doing literally like fuck all. So it's not really motivating. It's not really motivating. It's like, shit, my income dropped by 50%. I got to go back to work, but it's actually the best month ever. So let's see what happens in July. Guys, if you want me to go back to work, don't use my discount codes. Then I feel a little bit more incentivized. And yes, the BDNF deep dive is also, but I think I got through all of the exercise literature because exercises increase brain-derived neurotrophic factor, and exercise also increases Mots-C. And exercise also increases vascular endothelial growth factor. So instead of injecting all these drugs, why don't we go to the gym, you know? So I'm working on that. But yeah, Follistatin, Nandrolone, and Ngenla first. And if I can do one per week, be happy. Congrats, Steve, good, saying goodbye to sleep. Yeah, so the good thing is, like, I go to bed at 4, right? So I have, like, my wife goes to bed at 12. Today she's being on extra wifey duty, so she's earning overtime, so I'm relying on your super chats because I have to pay my wife extra. No, it's not true. My wife's doing overtime with the baby. Normally she goes to bed at 12, so here it's about 12:10 now here in Thailand. And then I would take care of the baby from like 12 to 4 or 5, depending on how sleepy I am. And then my wife would wake up and then, you know, kind of sleep downstairs and maybe give some breastfeeding while half asleep. So I got like 2 bottles in with whatever breast milk she retrieved with those pumping machines during the day. Literally, do you guys remember Mad Max? Not the latest ones, not Fury. Yeah, Fury Road. And then you have a scene there where they're in the Citadel, and see all these chunky milk maidens, right? They're all pumping like milk for for Joe and the rest of his crew. So that's kind of what my house looks like right now. My wife's just chilling on the couch, baby in one hand, the suction machines on the other hand, trying to get that breast milk started real properly. So yeah, that's it's a sight to behold. A lot of nipples in my face the whole day. But less than for my daughter Jadzia. She has a nipple in her face the whole day, basically. So yeah, sleep is going well, man. Yeah, sleep is going well. My wife is sleeping, doing like a big power nap, 2 hours in the afternoon, and then I take care of the baby, and then sleeps, let's say 5 hours at night. So she gets her 7 hours in, and then I sleep from 4 or 5 to about 11, 12 with a big power nap in the afternoon. So we're doing okay. We're doing okay. Just very involving, this baby stuff. Let's see. Aaron Rawlick. Hey, Coach Steve, I saw in a podcast you said before you changed your diet after the Mr. Olympia and how you had more energy. Give us an update and give us a shout. I just increased my calories. So I was basically, for the sake of the YouTube channel and during that whole fertility journey, I was in a caloric deficit. And then after the Mr. Olympia, I was like, you know what? My metabolism is a bit broken because I got pretty chunky in the USA. I also ate like an asshole, but that's my fault. So I got a little bit chunky. I was like, you know what? I think I need to boost my metabolism. So I boosted my metabolism during the gyno Operation Gyno protocol, right, where I grew my gyno and my lower chest, and then all of that removed the lower chest and the gyno tissue. It's starting to look really nice now. I'm starting to get good lean. My bloating is also gone because I'm off the GH. Less bloated than before, luckily. No more potato face Steve. So I just ate more calories, and now I'm eating less calories again because I want to get lean again. So it's just part of the game. Same, it's cool how he used his fertility journey as an opportunity to educate your gym brother. So it's funny, like everybody now that I gave birth, right, everybody wants to know. And they're like, Steve, I want to do a consultation with you. There's no need because I got a 2.5 hour deep dive on my YouTube channel. Give that deep dive a watch. And then instead of doing a 1 hour fertility consultation, if you still need it, you can do a 20-minute call. It's there for free, dude. It's there for free. Didn't get any views, but somebody has to make a video like that, so might as well be fucking me, right? So, yeah. And of course, with the NAFLD and everything that I do to myself, I see it as an opportunity to educate. That's why with the Follistatin, I took an opportunity to educate about epicatogen, injectable YK11 and oral YK11, etc. And then the Follistatin 344. Don't worry, this video will drop eventually. Same with the Ngenla experiment. That was okay. It was okay. Less water retention in the ankles, but more in the face. And then slowly but surely, the lethargy started to creep up. So I was fucking lethargic during the Follistatin 344 experiment, and then fucking lethargic at the end of the Ngenla experiment. So I can't afford it right now. So I'm back on the mitochondrial support stack. I need my fucking energy. I was trying to sleep as much as I can, and the rest is bromantane and caffeine to keep me going. Yeah, that's also an education point. Anthony Tracy, welcome to the Vigorous crew, bro. Hopefully there will be some more Q&As for you more frequently. Congratulations on the baby girl. What are you guys using as a bassinet? We had a snoo for our last child and did not love it. What the hell is a bassinet? Bassinets. Oh, we just got a regular crib from IKEA for like $100 or something. So we got one in the bedroom, one downstairs, and then we have one of those. It looks like a bassinet, but it's basically like a place to bathe the baby, and that's in the that's like desk height, so you can bathe the baby, and then it has like a thing on top so you can change and you know, dry her off and all that stuff. So I don't know, man. Everything we get is like super cheap from IKEA and Lazada and AliExpress. So brands, what's the point if you're just going to use it for a couple months? And we got so much baby clothes and stuff for free that I barely spent any money on this baby stuff. We'll spend money when we go to Disneyland. But really, man, with babies, you don't need to go fancy because they don't even care about brands and stuff. All right, a boatload of congratulations. Let's scroll down a bit. Well, you know, the Vigorous shirt is on. Shit is going down. Hell yes. Hopefully you don't fall asleep during this podcast. I'm so tired. Happy for you, Steve. Thank you, bro. Let's see. Enjoy the time with the baby. It goes fast. Yeah, so that's like this week. I'm like, you know what? I can go to the gym, and then it starts to rain a little bit. I'm like, you know, I'm staying home. Baby on the chest, bottle feeding time, and then, you know, I spend my entire evening that way watching a little bit of Stargate and playing with the baby. Have you become a father? I haven't been following you much lately. Yes, calcium sulfate. I am a daddy now. Yo, Big Steve, I had a question about growth hormone. I recently had to stop taking MK677 because it made me sleep terribly. Yeah, so that's some side effects. Some people get terrible sleep from MK677 because it's known to increase cortisol levels, and elevated cortisol levels can interfere with your sleep. You know, it lowers cortisol levels, growth hormone, which is weird. Growth hormone secretagogues like MK677 and a few of the injectable ones that actually also increase cortisol levels, making the growth hormone secretion less productive and kind of counterproductive because now your sleep quality goes down. That's why I always say pharmaceutical or even generic GH wins over growth hormone secretagogues. If I go to pharmacy GH, will it make a difference, or will my body react the same? Well, you know, you can start with generics. In the source list, I got a couple, you know, places to point you in the right direction on my website with discount codes, obviously, right? So you save yourself 10%. Nice when shopping for GH. GH and cheap. And then maybe you buy a little bit of generics and a little bit of pharma. You run generics first for a month or two, with 2 IUs, 3 IUs, which should compare to the amount of growth hormone secretion that you would get from MK677. See how your water retention is, your carpal tunnel, blood glucose levels in the morning if you're worried about that. And your IGF-1 levels, and then your sleep quality, obviously, and then switch to pharma. You'll probably find that with sleep quality, it's pretty much the same, but water retention, carpal tunnel, and side effects, it's a little bit less. So you could bump up the dose to 4 IUs with less side effects than generics, sleep better, but obviously spend more money because, well, pharma GH ain't cheap. Pharma GH ain't cheap. Thoughts on Phil of his takes on growth hormone, basically claiming all generic GH is fake and designed to fool IGF-1 tests. Well, I've done a lot of serum growth hormone tests on generics, and they all come back at 32 to 36 nanograms per deciliter, or milliliter. So I don't know what Phil Viss has access to, but an IGF-1, well, how can you fool IGF-1 tests when IGF-1 LR3 or DES doesn't even show up in IGF-1, and you need to inject copious amounts of Increlex, which nobody can afford or has access to. Besides me, I have a whole fridge full of Increlex. Does Phil Viss have a fridge full of Increlex? There's levels to this shit. I have a whole fridge full of generic and pharmaceutical growth hormone too. Don't come to my house. There'll be something waiting for you that's not, you won't even make it to the fridge. So I don't know what Phil Viss's take is on GH, but if you say that he claims all generic GH is fake, then I don't know. Maybe he doesn't have the connections. The Tiger GH I ran, 36 nanograms per milliliter on a 10 IU test 2.5 hours before testing serum levels. On a 2 IU intravenous shot, it's over 100. Belly gas, let's see, I did same protocol, 10 IUs, 2.5 hours intramuscular into the shoulder, and then testing serum growth hormone levels. 32 first time, 34 nanograms per milliliter second time. So, sounds good to me. It's a similar result as you would get from pharmaceutical growth hormone. Now, generics you would not really want to IV, obviously, due to the impurities, and otherwise run it for a while. Because, if you get some site irritation or that kind of stuff, then obviously you don't want to IV that, because then it goes systemic right away. You might get anaphylactic shock or some sort of systemic reaction that you did not bargain for. So I would not do generic GH intravenously. I have, so don't do what I do. And you don't have to do that. And source your shit right. If you're still on the kick tropin and the rip tropin, yeah. What do you expect, Holy shit, it's a Q&A. Congrats, brother, on the birth of your child. So happy for you. Thank you. I'm very happy, too. 2 years took. 2 years in the making. How sustainable is running 25 milligrams Anavar 1 to 2 times per week while being on a full-bore injectable cycle? Could you do it for 8 weeks plus? Yeah, if it's only 2 times a week, it's 50 milligrams anabolic androgenic steroids on top of your full-bore injectable cycle. So 8 weeks, 16 weeks, 24 weeks, your lipids and liver enzymes will tell you when it's time to stop. And if your lipids and liver enzymes are manageable, then run it longer. You could also do 5 milligrams per day, 35 milligrams per week. Maybe you get better results, a little more stable, a little bit more stable. Instead of doing the kidney punch or the liver punch like twice a week, like, take this liver, here's a fuckload of Anavar. With the elbow. That it's Anadrol and Superdrol is the elbow. This is just with the fist. So I think it's fine. 1 to 2 times a week. Yeah. But if you do 1 to 2 times a week, I would rather go with Anadrol because you get some, central nervous system stimulation and non-genomic effects, which are well documented. And Anavar is kind of, scientific evidence is not that conclusive regarding once or twice per week administrations. Anavar, I think Anavar works better from a cosmetic perspective if you run it every day. Yeah. All right. What's next? Haven't kept up with you for a while. Did you give up finishing your ebook? I stopped. Dude, I stopped making ebooks 5 years ago when I started this YouTube channel. I remember saying it was extremely time consuming. Yeah, it is. But we're working on something else, where all the scientific literature regarding anabolic androgenic steroids will be documented. So give us some time. We're about halfway through. I think I need a few more months. But then that research will put every other anabolic androgenic steroid resource to shame. It will contain everything I know and all the scientific literature and the effects on organs. So how does steroid XYZ have an effect on the heart? Okay, well, for Nandrolone, we know this. For testosterone, we know this. For Bolderone, we know this, right? On the kidneys, for example. So that will be all documented. And but that will be, some sort of membership site. So give that some time. No need to ask me when it's done. It's done when it's done. But the ebooks I gave up, and the ebooks that are there are a little bit outdated. That's why they're on permanent discount, 25%. Because I took them offline for a while, said, hey, they're a little bit outdated. They might not completely represent what I believe nowadays because they're 5-6 years old. And then people started complaining, say, I want to read the ebooks. I want to read the HRT ebook and the PST ebook and the bioidentical hormones cycle ebook. So I said, okay, fine. Well, it's a little bit outdated, so here's 25% discount permanently. So I have a couple sales per day, and it's good for maybe $4,000 or $5,000 a month that I sell in ebooks. So, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of diaper money to give away, and I don't hear any complaints. Right? Sometimes you would expect something like this ebook's absolute trash. I should have never bought it. Never heard a complaint, and I've sold thousands of them. High dose chromium picolinate 800 micrograms helps infinite carb cravings. Might offer kidney damage. I think from 1,000 micrograms chromium picolinate or chromium in general, you might have some kidney issues. So I wouldn't do that. But I've never heard of that, bro. Have you tried the breast milk yet? Asking for a friend. Allegedly. Yeah, in the beginning it was a little bit bitter, and but now it's starting to, allegedly it starts to, yeah, and I know how to latch, bro. G is still trying to figure it out how to latch properly, but I know how to fucking latch. I've been practicing latching since I was 15. Uh, Cindy, I'm sorry, Cindy, that you have to listen to this. Congrats, daughters love their dads. 3 weeks on 2 milliliters. I'm assuming 2 milligrams Richard. Only hate slow digestion. Wanted the glucagon effects. What else can I do to mute the food noise? Noise and loss energy is kryptonite. I'm a 62-year-old obese female, back injury. Fen work stimulant. Okay, so stop the the phentermine, that is, because it's not good for you in the long term. Just look up all the side effects. I think that's why sobitramine and phentermine were largely pulled off the market. So I would replace phentermine with something, well, at 62 years old. It's tough. I usually don't recommend hardcore nootropics to people over 50, but you can look into modafinil that has some dopaminergic and serotonergic effects. Tesofensine, maybe not phentermine, but tesofensine is a selective norepinephrine, dopamine, and serotonin reuptake inhibitor. It's basically an SSRI, but it increases dopamine and norepinephrine levels quite a bit, and thus suppresses your appetite, 250 micrograms 3 times per week. And then if 2 milligrams retatrutide is slowing your digestion, maybe go to half a milligram, like 3 times a week. So you split up the dose so you don't get a bolus injection. And then for once a week. And then add some beta hydrochloride and apple cider vinegar with every single meal. Just 1 tablet of apple cider vinegar. You get these double strength ones, or 500 milligrams, 750 milligrams per capsule. Now Foods has an excellent apple cider vinegar. And then Doctor's Best has a beta hydrochloride pepsin combination. Pepsin helps to break down proteins. You can take 1 or 2 capsules of that with the apple cider vinegar, or one or the other, with meals, and that increases the stomach acidity, and that helps with digestion and motility through the stomach as well. So you kind of digest the food with acid, because again, erythritol can lower your stomach acid levels to a certain extent. And then otherwise there's digestive enzymes, but I feel that with digestive enzymes, you really have to mix and match to what you're eating. So lactase enzymes obviously work with dairy products, right? Cheese, milk, whey protein. And then you have pepsin or a bipin that helps with protein. Now, if you can find Creole 40,000 that has amylase, lipase, and protease. Those are digestive enzymes that the pancreas produces. Those are better. You would have to get them on one of those online pharmacies, sources on my website. And did I index Creon? No, it's not there. I just updated the source list. So maybe you can get that prescribed. Creon 40,000. 40,000 stands for the amount of units of lipase that's in there. That's the highest dose. But you can get Creon 20,000, 10,000, 5,000, whatever you can find. Whatever you have access to. And that's probably the best digestive enzyme because it has bioidentical protease, lipase, and amylase to help break down foods. And then you don't really have to mix and match particular digestive enzymes. So if you go with Now Food super digestive enzymes, it probably doesn't really help as much as a Creon 40,000. And then obviously if you combine all of that with apple cider vinegar and beta hydrochloride with pepsin, then your digestion is 10 times better. So look into that. And if you have slow digestion, remove the foods that you're not digesting well. Right? If you're still eating garbage, then if you're obese, right, you probably got a certain lifestyle that you followed. The foods that are not digesting well for you are probably the foods that got you fat. So if you start following a ketogenic diet and eat foods that digest well for you, then the digestion is also a lot better. So that's why, if you go on erythritol and a stimulant, whether that's phentermine, modafinil, or tesofensine, you still need to eat good. Like I started erythritol a while ago, again, and my digestion is perfect because I know exactly what my body can and can't eat because I did a food allergy test and I've been doing this dieting thing for a very, very, very long time. Jose Franco, welcome to the Vigorous crew, bro. Steve has trained alligators guarding the fridge. No, but there's a crocodile farm not too far out of Bangkok, and I take people that really want to talk shit. I take them on an exclusive one-way trip. And then like 3 months later, you can buy some alligator leather, wallet. And there might be some residue. Or was your family member in there? No, but I don't have any trained alligators. Yeah, I have other things guarding the fridge. Abraham Dresner. On 200 milligrams test per week. Started SLU, and now I feel low estradiol levels. Estradiol spikes fast, but even low Arimidex crashes my estradiol to 13. Should I drop the AI since SLU lowers estradiol? Since when does SLU lower estradiol? I've never heard of this. And, SLU interacts with the estrogen-related receptor and has no effects on serum estradiol levels, at least based on the scientific evidence and all of the anecdotal reports that I've seen in humans, because the scientific evidence is all animal models. So I don't know where you heard that SLU lowers E2. No, that's probably from the B or C or D team of educators that have no fucking idea what they're talking about. Yeah, I've been in SLU for 5 years. No, you haven't. I cured 350 people with cancer. No, you haven't. Shut the fuck up. So how about this? You do daily microadministrations, testosterone per week, subcutaneous for the most stable levels and the lowest aromatization to estradiol. You get your body fat levels under control because high body fat levels will increase aromatization potential. Look into metformin and Cialis, albeit that Cialis in some individuals might increase aromatase enzyme expression. So add the metformin in first, not for blood glucose management, not for appetite management or lower your hemoglobin A1C, but metformin is one of those compounds that lowers aromatase enzyme expression in adipose tissue and might get your serum estradiol levels under control. And Cialis, which I mentioned in the Cialis deep dive, might lower estradiol levels as well without altering your testosterone levels. But again, in some people, Thomasartan and Cialis might increase aromatase enzyme expression. So add one in at a time and then see what happens. There's always dinyl-methane and calcium deglucarate. And keep taking your SLU, man. Keep taking your SLU and shut the fuck up because I'm 99.99% sure that SLU has no interaction with the estrogen receptor or lowers aromatase enzyme expression or alters it in any way or lowers serum estradiol levels unless the SLU is actually Arimidex. So 100 milligrams dinyl-methane morning and evening. Yeah, but it's an androgen receptor inhibitor. No. Only proven in prostate cancer in 1 or 2 studies and not in other peripheral tissues. That's not prostate cancer. So take that for what you will. Calcium deglucarate will bind, or the glucuronidate will bind to the estradiol, marking it for excretion. Now you can excrete it easier. So, hope that sends you in the right direction. Congrats, Daddy. Thank you, bro. Thanks so much, Eric. Appreciate it. Hey, Steve, even a small dose TRT makes my hemoglobin hematocrit go high, and donating blood isn't an option here. Any other options? Get your body weight under control, do a sleep study, get a CPAP machine. Grapefruit lowers hematocrit. Methylene blue high doses can lower hematocrit, but it can also increase it, so your mileage might vary. Enalapril, 2.5 milligrams per day, which is a blood pressure medication, can lower hematocrit. Telmisartan and beta blockers or other angiotensin receptor blockers can lower hematocrit by increasing your blood volume, by lowering your blood pressure, obviously. And but you have to address the root cause, man. And I don't think it's a TRT. It's your body weight is probably too high. You're probably not sleeping right. Your neck is too thick. You need to get your body fat levels under control, get a little bit leaner, do some daily fasted cardio, and then maybe use a CPAP. I think you have a lot of options. Tim, we'll be moving to Thailand at some point, wondering about peptide availability in general. Any special considerations or issues? It's available. I work with a compounding pharmacy where you can get peptides. Just come up. If I see that you're a legit person, then I might give you the Thailand starter kit. But I don't give that out. Dude, there's some people that send me emails, right? Can you send me the Thailand starter kit? Who the fuck are you? Send me your Instagram. And you see their Instagram, there's nothing there. This is like a hidden profile. I'm like, fuck you, man. I'm not giving away my sources. This is to the DEA who just started a new Instagram post. So if you meet me personally, I might give you the Thailand starter kit. I've sent it out maybe 400 times already for all the people that I met over the last couple of years. And I keep updating it. I'll tell you exactly where to buy peptides, growth hormones, steroids, where the pharmacies are, where the gyms are, where you can do blood work and that kind of stuff. And otherwise you order it. MA, OA, Science, 24, AP, all these guys send here, man. All these guys send here. So if you can't get it locally, you can't get the Thailand starter kit because you want to remain anonymous, order it online. But yeah, the compounding pharmacy I work with is very forthcoming. Just have to talk with them a little bit, explain your situation, and then stuff might be available to you for a reasonably fair price. Sean Sullivan, what's up, bro? Officially Daddy Steve. Welcome to the... Daddy, I like the fuck club. Finish your insulin guide, great read. In it, you mentioned a guide to fasting that you offer, but I don't know. Again, I stopped doing all the ebooks. So I wanted to do like a whole slew of ebooks based on the private Facebook group that I had years ago. And then the YouTube channel took off, and I just got complacent and lazy. And again, these ebooks take a lot of time to make them factually correct. And I found that making videos and, it's a little bit faster in production. Because a video, if you miss something, okay, fine, it's free, right? If you miss 5 minutes, and my videos are the best, don't even try to deny it. My videos are the best, most deep dive, most accurate, most cited videos you can find in this space. Nobody comes close. Let's be fucking honest, right? There's a lot of anecdotal experience. Chase does a great job. Paul does a great job. Everybody else does a great job with their information. But if you want a deep dive, this is the fucking place to be. And with those ebooks, like fasting, for example, I would have to do so much research that I'd rather just make a video about it and give you 90%, 95% of the information that's good, that is actionable, than make it a purchase where it needs to be 100%, and then you're writing another 150-page ebook, like the insulin ebook, for example, 130 pages. But that I was comfortable with, making 130 pages, making it factually correct with all of the protocols that you needed to know. And then charging, what was it, $100, but now it's $75. So no, I don't have a fasting ebook, bro. Just watch the videos. Type in fasting in the search bar, and you'll get plenty of free videos with a boatload of information. And then you'll be good. Said, what's up? Add Mots-C 1 milligrams every day to your over-the-counter mitochondrial stack, bit increase in energy on 6 hours of growth hormone per day, eating tons of food in the off-season. Fasted blood glucose went from 90 to 80 and postprandial lower too. Going to add in SS-31. Shit rocks. Hell yes. So what I recently, so I've been experimenting with the new mitochondrial peptides, right? So I came off the Ngenla. I was a little bit fatigued. So what I'm doing right now is 0.5 milligram Mots-C in the morning and 0.5 milligram in the afternoon. And then on training days, I take 2.5 milligrams SS-31 in the morning with my 0.5 milligram Mots-C. And otherwise, I take it pre-workout because I feel that the SS-31 and the Mots-C together give you great energy. Even though I've been slacking and lazy and procrastinating to go to the gym. Give me a break. So if you take it pre-workouts, dude, energy for days, right? And then SLU's in the picture and then all that shit. So, and I got that idea from Nick Walker. He's like, we're talking a little bit over Instagram about peptides and stuff. And he's also with OA. So Chase got him on board. So that's very, very cool. He got, one of the best Olympians with the freakiest physiques on board with Omega. And Nick's also got a code. So if you don't want to use my code, just use Nick's. Discount is the same. Just the revenue goes somewhere else. And I got more mouths to feed than Nick. So please, hook a brother up. So he was like, what happens when you take a pre-workout? I never thought about that. I just do all my shots in the morning. So I took it pre-workout, like 1 milligram Mots-C and 2.5 milligrams SS-31. Holy shit, man. And then ubiquinol, my pre-workout stack, my whole ritual, right? That was next level. It was great energy. So, I took it pre-workout now. Give it a try. Give it a try. Because I feel that the Mots-C and SS-31 gives you energy for like 4 to 5 days, or 4 to 5 hours, and then it kind of starts to taper off. It's kind of like ephedrine in that sense, where you feel like, oh, I can do stuff, and then it kind of tapers off so you can have your second or third meal and take a nap. No problem. But with this, it's, I feel that it's better to just take a pre-workout. So I did like a while, 0.5 milligram Mots-C in the morning with 1.25 milligrams SS-31 morning and evening The evening I go to the gym, obviously, but I feel that it's better if I go a little bit higher on the SS-31, and I might go back and forth with this protocol, and then split up the dose again. So it's it's a lot of fun experimenting with a new mitochondrial support stack. It's when I have time to make a video about it, I don't know. I love this username. Double penetration holy hand grenade. We're gonna forego the G. Double penetration holy hand grenade. And the holy hand grenade is from either Worms, that game, or that movie, Ready Player One. Or is the holy hand grenade from Life of Brian, or something similar from Monty Python? Oh, it's a holy hand grenade. Mentioned something about copper, but Super Chat was failing. Make sure you wanted to sure you got the thanks. Mentioned something about copper. Now, do I have to scroll up now to all your... All right. Copper deficiency created a systemic temperature based on effort-based paresthesia, pins and needles all over. Okay. I'm losing the context here. So you had a copper deficiency, and you had systemic temperature based, and you got the copper picolinate or citrate was introduced, and now it's coming back, and you would just wanted to super chat as a thank you. Okay. Please confirm with another message, because well, for $20, I want to make sure that I give you the right answers, bro. Watched Predator last night. Which Predator? So many good quotes. Oh, yeah. If it's the original one, then yes. The latest Predator, the animated one, man, I almost fell asleep. Use your codes for Mots-C and SS. Money for diapers. Yeah, man. I asked my wife, how much are these diapers? She's like, yeah, they're like 25 cents. So it's a lot of diaper money, bro. Started having chest pain and heart palpitations mid-cycle, dropped the TRT, got an EKG, and chest x-ray both were normal. Blood pressure and resting heart rate were normal. Any ideas what caused this? Seeing cardiologist soon. So that could be angina, which is just, chest pain and heart palpitations, basically. It could be from taurine deficiency, ubiquinol deficiency, electrolyte imbalance, and then obviously all of that, it doesn't really show up. Or it could be from inflammation or lingering. So... Yeah, here we go again. If you got vaxxed or you had C19 once or twice, and you had, what is it called? What was it called again? Myocarditis. And then you go on cycle with inflammatory carrier oils, which is almost not being used anymore. You're welcome. You're welcome. The etholeate days and the propylene glycol days, it seems to be gone now. It took me 5-6 years to get this shit out of the market, but it seems that nobody's using them anymore, that everybody switched to MCT, so that's win-win for the Vigorous crew. But if you're using something that's inflammatory, or maybe Nandrolone, for example, which can be inflammatory just by itself, by inflammatory prostaglandin increase, and you had C19 or VAX, so you have a little bit of angina and a little bit of cardiac damage, then it can cause chest pain or heart palpitations. And again, if you combine that with an ubiquinol deficiency, a taurine deficiency, or an electrolyte imbalance, which is very common when you're on a cycle because you're depleting ubiquinol, you're depleting taurine, and you're depleting electrolytes, especially when you're sweating buckets, then obviously it's going to exacerbate the issue that is there. So it might not show up as an EKG or chest X-ray. That's like the lowest common denominator you can do. I would do a ultrasound where you assess your ejection fraction, your atriums, and your heart size in general, and then check all of your cardiac markers. So that's pro-NT-BNP, or pro-BNP, and then troponin INT and CKMB, that's the creatine kinase myocardial band, to see if those are elevated. Like mine are chronically elevated from the C19 vax, unfortunately. Yeah, Before you start, I can't believe you had the vax up. When they made it mandatory for, or there were rumors for mandatory vaxes for, a visa here in Thailand, and you have a tough decision to make because I don't want to live anywhere else. So if you want to judge, go suck my dick and your mom's dick too. I'm sure she'd like it. So if you have inflammation or you have some sort of blood supply issue from myocarditis that happened, in 2019 or 2011, somewhere, 2021, somewhere in that time, then, the steroids and the electrolyte deficiency and the taurine deficiency might exacerbate that. And you would see that on elevated CKMB, elevated troponin INT, and elevated or skewed pro-BNP, pro-NT-BNP. Forgot now. But anyway, check your cardiac markers too and do an ultrasound. And if you see any signs of trouble, then it's time for an MRI with CT with contrast. But discuss that with a cardiologist. What are the must-have ancillaries running EQ and tests? Well, based on the scientific evidence in human models and animal studies, EQ is not the best for your kidneys. So look into astragalus root extract and allegedly SS-31 and SLU-PP-332, not 332, but 815, which is not available anywhere. So you might as well go with SLU-PP-332. That might help with mitochondrial function in the kidneys and protect your kidneys. So astragalus root extract to lower the inflammation to help with kidney filtration, and then some sort of mitochondrial peptide like SS-31 or a mitochondrial compound like SLU-PP-332 to help with mitochondrial function in the kidneys, protecting your kidneys that way. Again, I've never seen anecdotally that EQ fucks your kidney parameters. That happens with tren, where cystatin C and creatinine just shoot up, and then like, oh fuck, and you go off the tren, and then it comes down. You're like, oh yeah, but I really like the look of tren, so you go back on, and then you just bury your head in the sand, and cystatin C and creatinine is elevated for as long as you're using tren. But we're talking about EQ here. If you run test and EQ in a 1-to-1 ratio, it's very likely that your serum estradiol levels are in range, so that's good. Then your HDL will be okay. Then your SSBG will be okay. Your estradiol and your 6-drive will be okay. EQ can deplete GABA levels in some people, so look into a little bit of GABA or phenibut, to kind of bring the keep the edge down, or gorilla mind calm. Right? It has a combination of several herbs and adaptogens to kind of help bring the anxiety down if you get anxiety from EQ, because it lowers your GABA levels or modulates that. And I think that's about it. Tatka is always good to add, just for liver health. And if it increases your hematocrit, then again, like I mentioned before, look into enalapril, maybe methylene blue, maybe a CPAP machine, getting your weight down, which if you're running EQ and test, and you're probably trying to get your weight up, obviously. So, yeah. Look into all those things. Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Yeah, that's Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Man, I haven't watched that one in a long time. Should introduce that to my wife. Just like I did with Star Trek. John Italia. Look at the beautiful purple super chat of $50. Here we go. It's a lot of cheesecake tomorrow, baby. Actually, no, we're going for sushi. So tomorrow I will have... I'll have some chotoro in your name. Yeah, 2 slices of chotoro. That's like the fatty tuna belly. And then we're going to do the sashimi style. 2 slices, then $50 is gone. Fuck, $25 a piece. Holy shit, Steve. When I eat good. Hey, Steve, my body fat is 30%, but I'm also muscular. What body fat should I be to start TRT? I'm 45, my testosterone is 492. Free T is like 6. Also, should I start DHA and pregnenolone before I hit the optimal fat? So, here's what you do. You start dieting, you start improving your lifestyle, because at 30% body fat, if you start TRT now, you're going to hold more water than is necessary, which is going to increase your blood pressure more than necessary. And since you don't know how to manipulate your estradiol levels yet, you're probably going to overshoot, crush your estradiol levels too much in an attempt to get your body weight and water retention under control, and then murder your dick. And that was not the point of going on TRT. It was the point of TRT was to get rock hard dick and stick it to all the girls that are like 35 years old. Unless you're married. And you got to bang whatever you're stuck with now. Well, the point of TRT is to bang chicks half my age. You know, it's what, 22 and a half? Yeah, that's acceptable. So I would get your body fat levels down, because you know what, TRT works great if you do the work first. Get your body fat levels down to 15%. Yes, sucks. It sucks. But you can go on Lethargy diet and get your appetite under control and fix your diet. And then going to the gym. You know, you're also muscular, so it shouldn't be too difficult to get your body fat levels down. I have an entire video about the non-stimulatory fat burner stack. Give that one a watch, and then pick 2 or 3 compounds that you want to use as a fat loss aid. And if you are now muscular and your testosterone level is like 500 nanograms per deciliter, that's more than enough to sustain it, your muscle mass and your strength, until you're 15%, and then from that it starts to suck, and it probably will take you a few months. So you recomposition your body, you earn that TRT, like I mentioned in the 7 videos that I have on TRT. You fucking earn it. It's not a crutch. You start with TRT first, and then later on you add in the DHA and pregnenolone, because you might not need it, but you're 45, so you probably need it. And maybe 25 to 50 milligrams DHEA and 10 to 25 milligrams pregnenolone. But the funny thing is with pregnenolone, if you use mitochondrial support aids like Mots-C, SS-31, SLU-PP-332, we also upregulate how much pregnenolone you produce. You probably don't need to supplement that. All right. So I was not aware when I made those DHA and pregnenolone suggestions years ago. And now that I'm a little bit older and wiser and know more about mitochondrial function, if you use mitochondrial support aids, it's probably not required to supplement with pregnenolone and increase your progesterone and allopregnenolone and cortisol and aldosterone levels downstream. You can just use mitochondrial support aids to tell your mitochondria to undergo biogenesis, so you have more mitochondria, produce more ATP, but also produce more pregnenolone and more signaling molecules to keep your energy levels elevated. Even though Mots-C and SS-31 and all those compounds, they're not associated with increased pregnenolone levels, just the power of deduction and understanding basic human or mitochondrial biology. So it's very likely that pregnenolone levels go up, and thus DHA levels go up downstream, so you can use less DHEA supplements. Before, I would run 25 milligrams pregnenolone and 50 milligrams DHEA, and my DHA sulfate levels would be in range. And now I don't use any pregnenolone because I use mitochondrial support aids. 37.5 milligrams DHEA per day, and my DHA levels are exactly the same as they were on 50 milligrams DHEA and pregnenolone, right? So I'm suspecting that from the mitochondrial upregulation, I don't need pregnenolone, and I can get away with less DHEA. But DHA and pregnenolone are significantly cheaper than these mitochondrial support aids. Right? Use code Vigorous to get yourself 10% off if you want to go with SS-31, Mots-C, etc. So I would put in the TRT last. Look into an appetite suppressant like retatrutide or tirzepatide. Get your diet under control. Fix your diet. Control all the meals that you make. And then trust me, dude, when you go on TRT, 100, 150 milligrams, 200 milligrams per week, when you're 15% body fat, blood pressure will not be an issue. Estradiol will not be an issue. Libido will just go up. You don't have this honeymoon period for a while, and then it starts to decline because you can actually see your dick. And right now, 30%, it's a little bit too much, right? You can only see the tip, but not the base and the tip. That's what you want. Right? If you're 30% body fat, you must be lifting a little bit to kind of shave. And that's not what you want, man. You just want to lean back and trim, and you slice the katana, slice it like Edward Scissorhands, and you get this beautiful fucking padrone ready to stick it to your secretary. So yeah, so it doesn't mean you can't use anything, but I would do TRT last when your body fat levels are low. And because in the meantime, you improve your lifestyle and you don't get any of the side effects once you do start TRT. All right, I hope you got your $50 worth, man. D-Brad, I'm on Lantus 10 IUs and 4 IUs of growth hormone. If fasting glucose is good, could I run it indefinitely? Yes. And what are your thoughts on 48-hour insulin compared to Lantus? I never used 48-hour insulin when I was still using insulin because I don't have it available. So what was it called? I don't even, and I never recommended it. I like Lantus once or twice per day. That's what I always use to get swole. So let's say if you're using 35 IUs per day, example, All right, example. I was eating 700 carbs at that time, at least. 25 IUs of Lantus in the morning, 10, maybe 12 IUs of Lantus in the evening, and then growth hormone is needed. But I never did the 48-hour insulin. Anything that's 48 hours, I would still do once or twice per day. I like my level stable, bro. Psychonauts. I can dig it. Doing a cycle of 300 tests and 300 primo a week and 40 milligrams Anavar per day recently felt very lethargic. Any thoughts? It's probably too much Anavar. But yeah, if you're on, let's see, 40 milligrams, 40 times 7. Yeah, so you're on almost 900 milligrams of steroids per week. Are you lethargic from the diet? Are you lethargic from oxidative stress? Are you lethargic from the synthetic carrier oils? Are you lethargic from, being overtrained? Too much Anavar? We're shooting in the dark here. So go through, make a list of all the things that could possibly make you lethargic and then start tackling them off one by one. I'm sure the Anavar is going to be reduced last to 25 milligrams. There's so many things that can make you sleepy, man. I was doing the Follistatin 344 experiment. I was lethargic as fuck, dude. Jesus fucking Christ. Fuck me, I couldn't move. I did it for 1 week, then I took a week off, then I did it for 2 weeks. I'll discuss all of that in the deep dive, but that was the most lethargic I ever felt. And then I stopped that, and then I went to Ngenla, and the first 2 weeks I was like, finally, GH, it doesn't make me tired. And the last 2 weeks I was still ugh. But again, I have all the shit going on in my life, so I'm sure that contributes, right? I mean, daughter on the way, had to get my driver's license again because I've been slacking on that. And then I had to do some extra lessons for my motorbike and then keep the motorbike going and then driving extra hours in the car just to keep that going. So I was pretty sleepy, pretty tired. So there's so many factors that can make you lethargic, man. Are you megadosing melatonin, for example? Are you taking growth hormone that you didn't tell me about? Have you been psychonauting a little bit too often, and you need a little bit of vacation from that? Please tell us more. Zuderman, $20. Congratulations, man. Fiance and I are going to Thailand, Bangkok, and then Chiang Mai. Don't go to Chiang Mai, man. There's a piece of shit living there, and it will just harass you when you go to the gym. I have this great website. We have a tribe there, 12 people. You should sign up. We'll talk about Mastrone or Proviron. For a honeymoon, December to January from California, I have horrible flying anxiety for 24 hours flight, so should be fun. Thanks for everything you do, brother. Okay. If you're coming from California, you buy your, $24 Benadryl. Fuck, man. So expensive. Yes. You go to, I don't know, these little shops at the duty-free area or whatever, the terminal. And then you go shopping, you have a protein shake, $8, and it's like Las Vegas prices. It's insane. And then they have Benadryl there for sale, which I should have just bought at CVS. But then last minute, you're like, I have Benadryl. 1 tablet for every 8 hours. So the flight from Thailand, it's about 20 hours to California if you got a good layover in Narita in Japan or South Korea. I would choose either or, not Taiwan or Hong Kong. That's a little bit too much out of the way. So you get your, in California, where you're flying from LA. What is it, Sacramento? Is that in California? I don't know. Anyway, buy those Benadryls. You get 4 or 2 capsules. You take 1 tablet for each 8-hour flight. And then for the layover, you're just barely awake enough to make it through the security check. And then by the time you hit the second plane, you're already like, ugh. But if you don't take the second Benadryl, then you'll wake up. And then it's a little bit too late because you don't want to be that drowsy when you arrive here in Thailand. A good cup of coffee will get you over it. But then you'll probably still be bobbing your head in the taxi, and you still need to pay attention in the taxi. Otherwise, they'll rip you off. So it's either the Benadryl that you can buy in the pharmacy in the airport, or a good dose of Phenibut and GABA, with L-theanine and Grelliman Calm, basically, take good amount of capsules of that, and then ride it out. Maybe a glass of wine with that. Yeah, get the nerves down. That's double dipping, bro. Hey, Steve, I was wondering, Sigma Male, I was wondering what would be the best PEDs one could take for pure strength? SBD? Strongman, I'm assuming. I don't believe these world-class powerlifters are all natty. No, they're not. Otherwise, they wouldn't be consulting with me. I think stuff like Test Base or Anavar. Dude, the Test, Tren, Anadrol, Superdrol, all these guys take the fucking whole side. Why do you think all their pimples explode during the powerlifting meets, man? Test as a base, Trenbolone, Anadrol, Superdrol, Halotestin. Those 5 are a killer, and most of these guys use that in combination, so which I would not recommend. But hey, if you got something to win, and it's pure strength, testosterone suspension is good, but usually the orals will get you there just fine. So just assuming you're a 100-kilo guy, 100-kilo weight class, 500 tests, 350 tren, 350 anadrol per week leading into the show, and then either halotestin or superdrol for the last couple of days after the weigh-in. 30 milligrams per day, and then a couple slaps and a whiff of smelling salt, you know, or panties of your wife, whatever gets you, whatever gets you in the zone. I'll take both, please. One per nostril, and then yeah, lift some fucking shit, man, and then wipe the blood off your face. What's your favorite color? Blue, yellow. Fuck, I don't know where this one is from. Josh, you're stomping me. If you could only pick one, Mots-C or SLU? Difficult. Right now, I'm really enjoying the Mots-C because I introduced it, because I've been on SLU for a while, and it's a little bit more of a subtle feeling than the Mots-C. The Mots-C just fucking hits you in the morning like, wake up, bitch. Wake the fuck up. Get to work, 1 milligram SubQ. Yeah, after a while, you're like, let's make some fucking money, bitches. And then 4 hours later, you're like, oh, shit, I didn't have breakfast yet. Time to eat. Jose, I asked you a month ago about the ultimate fake United protocol. You said just fucking inject. Yeah, almost 3 months on my 3 months on my first. Oh, shit, did I cause you to inject now? Uh-oh. Sorry, Jose. I'm almost 3 months on my first 250 milligrams of testosterone per week blast. 1.5 months ago, added in 5 milligrams of Anavar per day, again 10 kilos. So there you go. There you go. So that's good news, bro. That's good news. Keep going. Keep going until this doesn't work anymore, and then you go to 375 test and 10 milligrams Anavar, and keep doing your blood work, you piece of shit. You got to make sure that your lipids and your estradiol and all your parameters are good, because the longer you run gear, the higher dosages you run them in, the more your blood work parameters are going to get fucked. But hey, at least you didn't pussy out and did the MK677 Austrian protocol, because this gay as fuck. It doesn't get you laid. You think all these hot girls would like to, how'd you get so big? I use SARMs. And walk right away, man. Swipe to the other side of whatever it is to swipe that to the one that gets you laid. I never use Tinder or swiping apps. I met my wife in the gym. I give her a wink. And 10 years later, we have a daughter. Holy shit. No, 13 years ago. Is it 13 years? Jeez, has it been 13 years? JSTR, I'll get to it. Wait, no, I got to double check. 2013. 12 years. January 2013. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 12 and a half years. Jesus Christ. Not bad. Nobody stays married for that long. Well, 10 years married to 12 years together. Well, they're only getting started. Congratulations. TRT 200 milligrams split every other day. Testosterone levels 1250 and estradiol sensitive at 63. A little bit on the high side, but not alarmingly high. Latest blood work, iron saturation at 11%. Ferritin is low, 25 nanograms per milliliter. I like to add in Primo, dose, and HGH from the Contra F source list. Will HGH work for low iron? Thanks. No, so you can increase your ferritin levels in iron saturation. I'm assuming that serum iron levels are also low, just by taking more beef and beef liver, full with iron, full with hema iron, highly bioavailable. You can add a little bit of vitamin C to that, even though vitamin C helps mostly with the iron in animal or plant-based sources. But I'm sure it can't hurt with iron absorption with beef and beef liver. And if you supplement with a little bit of copper, that's how I got my iron levels back up. I ate a lot of beef liver, iron supplements, 18 milligrams iron ferrous bisglycinate chelate, and then 2 milligrams copper per day. At the same time, I had my iron supplements, and then my iron levels shot up. So because my iron levels were low from the epicatogen experiment, because I was a month chronically inflamed with C-reactive protein sky fucking high, and it dropped my iron levels to abysmal levels. It was below the reference range. So not a good sign. You can add in the Primo at 200 milligrams per week. TRT, 200 milligrams, 200 Primo, and your estradiol unsensitive will probably be like half. So what is it, 31 and a half? Yeah, 30 to make it easy. And that's pretty good. Testosterone levels should stay the same because you're taking Primo. Make sure your Primo is legit. And if it's coming from the Control F source list, I think most of the sources that I have there are out of Primo, but they're in the process of adding it back. Yeah, the process of adding it back. So please do your due diligence researching, because again, I think some batches of Primo are made from BP, but I'm not sure if it's available everywhere. Will GH work with low iron? No, it has nothing to do with your iron levels. But if you want to increase your iron levels, it's meat or iron supplementation and copper or vitamin C, because it helps with iron absorption. But hey, if you want to go on growth hormone, you don't need an excuse. All you need is money. You know, as long as you got money, you can go on GH. Lucas, just wanted to say congratulations and thanks for all of your work. I did some consults with you quite a few years back. Lucas Rosov. That's really a couple of years ago then. I can't remember. And appreciate how generous you were with your time. I really admire what you've accomplished and the example that you set. Thanks. I really appreciate it. What did we talk about? It must have been a few years then. I've done so many consultations. Yeah, but everybody knows that a 20-minute or 40-minute or 1 hour consultation is never 20 minutes, 40 minutes, or 1 hour. It's emails and a little bit of aftercare. And if you go over time, 5 to 10 minutes, especially when I talk to a big juicy, not a big junkie, big juicy bodybuilder, then yeah, we might go a little bit over time. But you know, it's I've always been generous with my time. And today I met 3 people in the gym, and they're like, "I don't want to interrupt your workout." I said, "Fuck, man, you're here now. It doesn't matter if you interrupt me here or at the Mr. Olympia. So let's chat." And then these people want to walk away. And it's like, "No, come back. Where the fuck are you? Fuck are you going, dude?" Let's talk. So yeah, happy to hear that everything is going well, and thanks for the $100 super chat. That goes a long way tomorrow, because fuck, sushi ain't cheap, man. Ugh. Yeah. Steve, you look tired. I always like it when people say this. Guys, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I work my fucking ass off, and then once in a while people, "Hey, Steve, you look bloated." What saying that? What does it accomplish? Steve, you look tired. Do you want me to go to bed now? Do you want me to stop the Q&A? Or do you just want to, I mean, with a name like that, I'm going to teach you a valuable lesson. There you go. There you go. Felt good. Hey, you give one, I give one back. I always look tired, bro. I'm always fat. I'm always bald. I have blue on the side of my head. It has nothing to do with the light behind me. I have no separation. I'm a piece of shit, man. I don't know why you're here. You should just come over to my house and fucking off me for the sake of the planet. I do everybody a favor. There's 8 billion people here. What's one less? Everybody could do without me, dude. D-Brad, I accidentally took 40 milligrams propranolol with oral albuterol and I cooked it. Bro, What are you doing? Actually, 40 milligrams is not that bad, but yeah, keep track of your blood pressure, please, and your heart rate. And at the first sign of trouble, go to the ER. Don't fuck around. We don't accidentally do stuff like this. I was watching old content from Kurt, and he's very against GLP-1 medications. Why might this be? No, Kurt is an old school guy, man. That's why I like to get him on board, because he has a little bit of an alternate view on like me and Dean, we experiment quite a bit, and Kurt is very, very old school. Kurt's also very, very hands-on, man. He's coached to some of the best, so you guys have no idea who's helping probably, but he's coaching some of the best, and he just doesn't like GLP-1 medications because he feels that it's, you know, preventing you from getting that feedback regarding your appetite, and it might make it more difficult to actually give good feedback to your coach. So, and I'm a little bit more open-minded in that sense. Like, I'm not against any drug besides DMP, BAM15, adipotide, and what is the other one? Oh, that kind of, everybody has their, like, limitations. So, Kurt really likes high dosages of steroids. That's fine. That's totally cool. I love it. The tren, Anavar together, fuck yeah, bro, works. And then he does like certain drugs or sugar fasting diet. Like, everybody is welcome to their opinion, man. I mean, otherwise we'd just be yes manning during the anabolic roundtable and sucking each other's dicks off. So, you know, what's the fucking point? I don't think Kurt has tried Mots-C or SLU or SS-31 or all that stuff. And then maybe at one point he will, or maybe he will never try those and just really sticks with the steroids and high dose growth hormone. And dude, if you see some of his clients that he just got on test, Primo and GH, they look absolutely phenomenal. You know? So there's 1,000 ways to do this. And you just stick with the stuff that works. I don't think Kurt ever would need to crush his appetite, because I don't think he's ever been like fat. He's always been pretty lean. Yeah, so maybe Kurt doesn't understand that, you know, if you're 30% body fat or 25% body fat, or you're just husky and chunky and with a ravenous appetite, maybe he doesn't understand how that feels. So he wouldn't understand how it would be beneficial to use GLP-1 medications, right? Just like don't understand how other medications would be beneficial, and other people rave about that. So we all have our own little compartment that we work with. And that we really develop and nurture and try to cultivate. And then stuff that's outside of that, maybe standoffish or just don't want to try it, or like, fuck it, I don't need it. Fuck this shit, I don't need fucking retrotide. I can control my appetite just fine. But not everybody's like that. I'm not like that either. I like, fuck, my appetite is crippling, dude. So, just do what you want. Don't need anybody's approval. If you want to take DMP, go right ahead. Are there any long-term health issues related to metal implants, titanium alloy plates in the upper jaw? Not that I'm aware of. I had that surgical steel. And I'm not sure if it was titanium, though. I think it's just surgical steel. Was implanted in my leg from age 25 till 40, so that's 15 years. Didn't really have issues, but surgical steel is meant to be there for life in some cases. They don't remove it, especially the ones like in the forearms or the stuff, because let's say that you put a surgical plate in here and they remove the screws, or really one of those pens that goes all the way through. If you remove that, you just make it brittle again. So discuss that with your doctor, Mike. Not Dr. Mike, but Mike Goods. Please discuss that with your doctor, because it's not something that I'm specialized in. And from what I understand, it's some of these plates can be there for life and should not cause any issues. I definitely got my $50 worth. Thank you. Here's another $50 for being the best TRT carriers on YouTube. Some of you, I thought the economy was supposed to turn shit, but some of you guys are still too fucking rich, man. But I'll gladly take your $50 again and spend that on. Should I get for this one? How about some uni? Yeah, you know those little gunkins that they put the salmon roe on there, and then they put on top of that the urchin, the uni. Right, those are expensive too. I get like 3 of those pieces for this extra $50 tomorrow. Last time you guys were super chatting so much, right? We ended up with thank yous. I think it was like $250 2 weeks ago. So now we're at $200. No, this is $150 worth of thank yous, or maybe more. And then I spent all that money at Cheesecake Factory, and I was so nauseous, dude. Fuck, fuck me. And my wife was like, "Why are you ordering two cheesecakes?" I say, "You can have a bite, but people paid for this. I have to." Should have posted a picture. So I got like two cheesecakes, and the first couple of bites, you're like, "Oh, cheesecake," and then my wife takes a couple bites, and she's okay. She was still pregnant then, so she can't really eat that much. She had like an appetizer and 5 bites of cheesecake, and then her party was over, and I'm sitting there. I got like those breaded what is it, chicken tenders, and then a hamburger with extra egg and extra bacon. Off fucking Sunday, man. So I'm eating all of that, and then I got the cheesecake, 2 cheesecakes for myself because I probably eat like 1.5. My wife eats half a cheesecake, and then you're chomping away, and then halfway you realize like, fuck, man, and every cheesecake's like 1,500 calories, and then the burger and these breaded chicken tenders, probably eating like 8,000 calories here. So I started getting a little bit nauseous. But hey, for all those thank yous, I got to spend it on something, dude. Got to eat that stuff. Keep donating, guys. Get saved to 30%. Oh no, I'm finally seeing some abs again. This year I've been too fat, man. The last yeah, this more cheesecake. No, Iraq. Is there a question with that? Appetite stimulation. I'm on 320 milligrams testosterone, 300 primo, and roughly 80 milligrams per week of Dianabol. MK677, GHRP6, and what was that medication? Periactin. Periactin for appetite. Ciproheptadine is an antihistamine to treat allergy. As a side effect, it causes hunger, but it also makes you sleepy. Yeah, Periactin, GHRP6, and MK677, and daily fasted cardio. It's pretty good for appetite, man. Sigma Male, do you think these tested powerlifters in the IPF use the same stuff as you mentioned before? Because there are a lot of guys, young guys that deadlifts almost 400 kilos natty. What are they taking tested? Dude, I honestly don't know. Like when I was helping powerlifters that are getting drug tested, we make a protocol that tapers down particular compounds, and that means that Trembolone is not being able to be used because it has a 5-month detection time, and Anadrol is 5 weeks, Anavar 3 weeks. So you gotta taper these drugs out as needed, but that means that they're still strong. And yeah, testosterone suspension is detection time of only a couple days, and then you can take sublingual stuff. You'd be surprised how much you can accomplish with nootropics. So yeah, a tested show just means that they have less at their disposal. But if you watch the wide-out-proof doping stack, that you see that there's a boatload of compounds that you can take that might increase strength, or at least the stimulants that are not even banned. So you can take those. And yeah, but deadlifting game has changed just like bodybuilding, man. There's always freaks out there that are natty, truly natty, or maybe take a little bit. And not anything to illicit. They don't do an extensive protocol of tapering the drugs down and increasing the clearance. And they pull 490 or 400 close to 90. It happens, man. Life's not fair. I mean, look at Rubiel, the bodybuilder, right? I mean, look at the guy. He's got muscle growing out of his fucking ears all the way to his toes. It looks silly as fuck. And then I saw his cycle, and his cycle is stupid as hell. It's the most stupid cycle I've ever seen. And he looks like that, And Big Ramy, the same. I mean, I don't know how those guys in Kuwait got him that freaky, dude. I mean, these guys, some of these guys are just genetic freaks. They don't know what they're doing, and they're still winning and beating everybody else. Life's not fair. I get used to it. Some people are just more genetically inclined with less work. and less intelligence than you. It sucks. It sucks. That's my secret. I'm always angry. That's right. That's right, Captain. Actually, isn't sushi cheap in Thailand? It depends on where you go. If you go to a cheap sushi place, then obviously you get cheap sushi. But I'm over that, man. I'm not going to Zen or Fuji or one of those road stalls where they have sushi from like 3 days ago. Complimentary flies on top. No, I go to the nice places. There's one close to our home. It's called Shinsei Sushi. And they have omakase, so you could sit at the bar and they just prepare whatever. Or they have a menu, and it's not cheap, but the quality is insane, dude. And we always tip heavily, so our pieces are a little bit bigger than everybody else. They see me coming. It's like, this fucking white dude, he's a good tipper. And then instead of having a piece like a nigiri piece like this, or a sushi piece like this, you get like double the meat. So our meat slices are a little bit thicker. And we have like a mutual unspoken understanding that as long as the pieces are thick, thick like a Southern girl, that I tip royally. So, and the meat quality is absolutely fantastic. It's fresh, nothing is frozen. You don't see, an ounce of brown or anything like that. It's all beautiful colors of the fish. And I get a little bit more than everybody else. Sometimes you see other people come in there because it has good reviews. And then they look over at my table. It's like, why is this motherfucker piece of tuna like bigger than my hand? So, I'm a good tipper, dude. I got a tip for you. Leave a good tip. So it really depends on where you go, man. And like I said, I've been living on a budget from 30 to 40 years old, and I'm over it. I'm over it. I put all my money away from 30 to 40 years old, or the 25 to 30 years old, put it all in assets. And now it's time to live it up. So if I want to buy a car cash, can. Want to buy a motorcycle cash, can. In the same week, can. IVF, $50,000, can. So sushi, $200, can. And that's still cheap compared to the rest of the world. So it depends on where you go, man. Alexander Carrera, congratulations. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. It's really concerning to see all these guys say, what is the cycle that your baby is on? Give your baby growth hormone. As a parent, I want to grab you through the fucking screen and choke you out until you see stars, and then keep choking you until you see God or the devil. Because dude, you don't do that shit. I know educators who would do that, but it's not what I do. Healthy eating, diet, and exercise. That's what you get. That's what you get. The champ is here. Just order this stack. Win. Work. What do you think? 16 weeks. Hormone annotates. 200 milligrams per week. Testosterone, 250 milligrams per week. Cialis, 20 milligrams per day. It's a bit high. Dropped that to 5. Exemestane, 20 milligrams. Was it daily per week? I'm assuming it's per week. Anavar 50 on week 12. LGD, I stopped breathing after that. This cycle seems very complicated, and it seems too many compounds, and it seems that you're not doing butt work because you're throwing the caber and in there, and I would not understand why you would want to do CJC 1295 with DAC when you're taking IGF-1 LR3 1 milligram per day, per week, versus all per week. Which has a blunting effect on your growth hormone secretion. So no, this cycle, from my perspective, is absolute trash. Trend, sure. Test, sure. Cialis, lower. Exemestane, 6.25 milligrams twice per week. And then Anadrol, LGD is for faggots. Dianabol, 25 milligrams. Kickstart is also for faggots. Not that I have anything against homosexuals, but you guys know what I mean. Just only losers use LGD, and only losers do Dianabol kickstarts. This cycle looks like it was put together on steroids.com. So, thanks for your $10, bro, but looks like fucking trash. TRT 200, testosterone 1950. This guy's like short. Estradiol 91, testosterone estradiol 21.4. Should have taken AI. Yeah. Yeah, but you can also take dinomethane. You can also take metformin. You can also take calcium diglucarate. You can also get your body fat levels down. You can also take Cialis. You can also do daily microadministrations. You can also do daily microadministrations SubQ. So I hope that answers your question. Steve, talked to you 3 months ago. Was making 100K per year. Alrighty, I remember. I was making 100K per year at 21. Now it's up to 30K per month after you challenged me. Also, number 2 affiliate. Oh, fuck, that's you? Are you the guy on TikTok? Dude, just shoot me a message on DM, man. Holy shit, 30K a month? That's good, man. So it's my fucking fault that you were above me. Fuck. So you're the guy on TikTok doing all the GLP-1 videos, right? Fuck, I'm so happy for you, man. That's fucking epic. 100K to what, 30? 30 times 12. Fuck, dude. Okay, now it's the next challenge. Do that your year salary in a month. But then you come to Thailand and you buy me dinner. It's possible, man. It's fucking possible. And please start traveling, dude. With this much money, don't tell a fucking soul. Don't tell a fucking soul. Invest it smartly. It's never too late to invest, even though the markets are all going up. Right? Invest it in something you feel comfortable with, but live your fucking life, man. If you're 21, 22 years old, you make 30K a month, and then I don't know how much taxes you pay on that, but go to Dubai, see if you can go to a tax-friendly place. If you work online, you can make your content anywhere and see the fucking world. Because at 22, making this much money, just surround yourself with entrepreneurs, not the degenerates that you find, not the backpackers, surround yourself with like-minded people. You can find them in Bangkok or most bigger cities, and just keep at it, man. Because if you keep going, you can basically end up like me. By the time you're 40, you can just say fuck it and just chill, and that's the best feeling in the world. Like last 5 weeks, I haven't done fuck all. The money still keeps going because I invested so much time into this YouTube channel and all of the assets that I manage. And my wife's like, don't you have to work? And I showed her the end of the month statement, and she's like, you made this much money? I said, yeah, but I put in my fucking 15 years, 20 years of grinding, 40 to 80 hours a week. And at one point, it just rolls, and then you can just kick back and you literally breastfeed the baby, and you watch your statement again, and it's up. It's up a lot. But that takes a lot of time and a lot of effort. So, dude, you're fucking banking, you're rolling. Good on fucking you, Derber. Fuck you for placing higher on the OA affiliate. But I'm so happy for you, because this is exactly what I want to see. I don't want to see people just do stupid stuff and when I say don't take DNP and they still do it. I want to see people fucking grind and make money and kick ass and chew bubble gum. And then the next step is keeping as much of the money that you earn. And then the third step is making that money work for you through investments. Yeah. And then the fourth step is kind of retiring your mom and dad. That's the best. Yeah. So, but good on you, dude. I'm happy for you. Fuck yeah, man. 30K a month at 20, 21 years old, 21, 22 years old. That's fucking legendary. But again, keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself. You'll have a lot of friends. Otherwise, they all want to drain your fucking wallet or drain your fucking nutsack to get to your wallet. Which again, it's if you're cunning about it, then it's totally fine. Willie Stag, first time trying lowish dose Austrian 8. Fuck off. Suck my dick. Pre-TRT, my C-reactive protein was 1.9, and with 200 milligrams per week testosterone cypionate from compounding pharmacy, currently at 5.9. Living the lifestyle, good stuff, clean foods, on low iron. I have clean blood work. Any suggestions? Yeah, that's weird, because compounding pharmacies in the US usually use cottonseed oil for testosterone cypionate, but it could be that you're allergic to the benzyl benzoate or benzyl alcohol. So please contact your prescribing physician and compounding pharmacy to ask them what the breakdown is of testosterone cypionate, cottonseed, sesame oil, grapeseed, how much benzyl benzoate, how much benzyl alcohol is in there. Excuse me. There's a Gorilla Mind respawn coming up. Respawn burp. Medic. Medic. No teabagging until the medic is here. So maybe you're allergic to one of those ingredients. And otherwise switch brands. And again, it could be an inflammatory response from food that you ate or cigar or environmental pollutants. But yeah, it's if it's pre-TRT, CRP is 1.9 and then 5.9, that's pretty high. Did you add in epicatogen by any chance? You never know, right? But yeah, there's a lot of things that can increase your inflammation. Watch the Carrier Oil Deep Dive. I explain what causes inflammation. Like even traveling. Like if you travel for 12 hours or longer, then your C-reactive protein can go up from the decompression in the airplane. That's why with stewardesses, flight attendants, and what is it? Jesus Christ. the guy that flies the airplane. Jesus Christ, Steve. Pilot. Yeah, pilot. That's the one. The pilot. The fucking pilot. So those guys might have chronically elevated C-reactive protein levels because they go through the compression-decompression cycle. So I always said Carrier Oil Deep Dive to get you some ideas. I also go through most compounded or pharmaceutical testosterone cypionate formulations. Some of them are sesame oil, cottonseed oil. Those are commonly used. And then contact your prescribing physician and your compounding pharmacy to see what they're using, or it could even be on the bottle. And it could mean that you're allergic to one of those ingredients. It happens. You need to switch. If you're allergic to benzyl benzoate or benzyl alcohol, then you need to compound it yourself in MCT, or ask them to compound it in MCT and nothing else. Yeah, it's rare but not unheard of. JM, $5. Is there a question? I don't see a question. I'll keep my eye out. Dylan, congratulations to you and wifey on the newborn Papa Steve. Yes, thank you. Will Velasquez, my friend has been experiencing decreased urine flow on and off throughout the year on DHT pineapples and doing the Dean cycle analogies. He was going to try finasteride, and then he pulls the DHT fruit out to help with benign prostate hyperplasia. Just tell him to do a fucking ultrasound on his prostate, man. Instead of throwing the finasteride in or taking the DHT, the primobolan or the mastrone out. And I'm assuming that's what the pineapples and the mango stands for. Maybe he doesn't even have benign prostate hyperplasia. Maybe he just doesn't drink enough water. So do imaging, get it diagnosed. Let's see. He said he had not bad sides with finasteride. Maybe try another supplement. It's better. I told him get a PSA tested. No, don't even skip the PSA. Benign prostate hyperplasia you can easily detect with an ultrasound. It's non-invasive. They do that from the front, not from the back. Unless you have a doctor that likes to fondle, then he probably sticks a finger up his ass. And the doctor stuck a finger up his ass to check the size of my prostate. That doctor is gay, bro. But he used an ultrasound for that. And again, finasteride, it lowers DHT levels coming from testosterone, but it doesn't do anything for primobolan or mastrone. If you want to increase urine flow, you look into tamsulosin, Flomax. Tamsulosin, Flomax. That's an alpha blocker. And otherwise, alpha blockers like yohimbine, alpha-2 adrenergic receptor antagonist, alpha blockers, yohimbine or ribulsine might also increase urine flow. Yohimbine, ribulsine, Flomax, you're welcome. Oh, I remember 100K per month. Okay, sorry. Well, 30K per month is already good. Yeah, so 360 per month. That's the next target. No, but do 100K a month. That's good, man. And if I think that if I think that who you are, the guy on TikTok, then that's very doable. But it will take a little bit more following, and just keep at it, man. Just keep at it, but don't spend it. Don't spend it because you never know when it's going to end. That's the problem. Right? We saw Amino Asylum go under, and a couple other sources just pulled the plug preventatively, and some of the affiliates that you might have might disappear. And again, don't put all of your eggs in one basket. So if you're making 30K a month, 100K per month, you can put that in appreciable assets, and whether that's watches or art, cryptocurrency, stock, houses. I do a lot of research in a real estate cycle. Houses seems like a bad investment right now, unless somebody's selling, on a hurry because they need other bills to pay. Then you flip it for 50% discount. Cool, fine, right? But right now, the income sources from affiliates, they might be dropping like flies potentially. So all the money that you earn, put it away. Then if the money suddenly stops for whatever reason, because the FEA crackdowns on all these affiliates that we market, then at least you have some savings. Yeah, or you can do cocaine and hooker parties and spend it all on Lamborghinis and stuff. But that's what the guys like the Trent twins and Togi and the degenerates do. So I'm sure you're a little bit smarter than that. And put it all away, man, and you can live very comfortably. And then you still go to Sears. Steve, how many pairs of shoes did you buy in the US? I bought 7 pairs and they were all less than $100. Well, why did you spend $1,000 on food? I can't, experiences you spend on, and perishables. So that's shit like this, like clothes. Eventually, you have to throw them away, or shoes or that kind of stuff you don't spend on, right? So, but that's my motto. You can do whatever the fuck you want if you're making 30 to 100K a month. But my recommendation would be don't spend it all. Spend maybe $5,000 on yourself. Put everything else away. And then when you're 30, 40 years old, you're like, I'm glad I did. Because life gets expensive the older you get, man. Dylan, getting my pops on erythrocyte. He's diagnosed as a pre-diabetic and could definitely benefit from losing 20 to 30 pounds. Excited to see his results. He'll probably start at 2 milligrams per week. Docs charging $5,000 per month for tirzepatide. Oh, that's why we have these sources, man. Because it's absolutely insane to get these compounds through the medical field, and it's just theft. They tried to increase the price of insulin, and then it went through the Senate, I think, and they brought the prices down, at least in the U.S. But dude, when you look at the Chinese, what the Chinese are charging for a box of 10. You realize how much theft there is in the medical field, and they get the medical field gets it from the same place. Just package it up nicely with a nice pen. So no, I'm all for free market and entrepreneurship and capitalism. So you go where you can get the best deal if the quality is comparable. And 2 milligrams per week is a good starting point. Personally, I would do a 0.5 milligram 3 times per week and slowly build it up over 2 to 3 weeks. The feeling, the dose is the same, but the feeling of appetite suppression. And then if you look at Paul Barnett, for example, he's doing 2 milligrams per week or 1 milligram per week, and his hemoglobin A1C and all of his pre-diabetic markers have improved dramatically, which I also highlighted in the retrospective deep dive, comparing the effects regarding hemoglobin A1C, fasting blood glucose levels, fasting insulin levels, weight loss, circumference of the abdomen, right? The waist circumference loss. I compared all of that to the other GLP-1 receptor agonists wherever known, and then came with a dosage range of, let's say you want for 4 milligrams retrospective this result, and then how much of the other GLP-1 receptor agonist dose would you need to take? That's all documented in erythrocyte. And again, MAOA, BP, AP, they all sell erythrocyte, and I'll have a discount code for those guys. So whatever is the most convenient for you to order from and the most cost effective, go get it. Start low, build your way up for your dad. And then hopefully, he can be with you a little bit longer. Don't listen to the trolls. You look great. Yeah, I just banned him, man. Get fucked. Do you guys have tranny bars in Thailand? Oh, yes. Oh, yes, that's the first stop. You come to Thailand first time, we're going to the go-go bars. First stop is the tranny bar. Get you warmed up. Deca only plus Estradiol versus TRT plus as a pro hair option. I know I did Deca only, and you know my Estradiol was low. I didn't add in Estradiol or Dianabol or DHA and Pregnenolone or HCG. I didn't like the feeling. I felt like a beta male. No positive drive. No jolly good laughter. It just felt like I was going, but I want to go good and hard and deep and fast. Just how she likes it, and that was not on Deca only. So I would always do TRT plus, but I'm not. You know, you guys know me. I don't give a shit about hair. So maybe you can do TRT plus with sol palmetto and pygium, or maybe finasteride if you can tolerate it. But I would never sacrifice my dick and my cognitive function for hair. So I would rather go on an aggressive hair loss prevention protocol with RU58841 and maybe a little bit of ketoconazole shampoo and the minoxidil shampoo and then GHK copper and a good nutritional balance. You know, and then really look into hair loss because, well, you need the micronutrients for hair to grow. You need your mitochondria to fire. You need your NAD plus levels to be sufficient. And then all these guys that have hair loss, they're micronutrient deficient in NAD plus levels and chronically stressed. Yeah, that's also a recipe for hair loss. And then it doesn't matter how much finasteride or RU58842 you throw at it, you're still going to lose hair. Your help has been a game changer. Currently helping my bros. Please give me a hand. Give me a hand with my question. What? What are you talking about? Yeah, this is the one I answered, right? I already answered it, bro. You're a member. You don't need the super chat. You just need to wait. I'm 20 minutes behind. Anabolic climbing. Finished my mini cut on Richard SLU-PP-332. Lost 15 pounds in 6 weeks. Nice work. Looking pretty damn lean. Climbed 2 grades higher too. Thank you, coach. All right. $5 for the food fund. That's one Saba roll for me. Good to hear, man. 15 pounds is a big difference if you're a rock climber, man. That's a big difference. I lost 15 pounds also. Like I'm down to like 230 and I was 265, said it's a little bit more. I feel 10 times better lighter. Yeah. So that's why I'm cruising in mitochondrial aids, and that's it. DHC to test at 200 with 60 milligrams Deca. Yeah, have him do an ultrasound, man. Polish beef patty. All right, is there any question with that? Is there any question? Let's see. Context from earlier. Copper is too bound in GHK copper and not bioavailable. A supplemented zinc due to this and crashed copper levels. Systemic paresthesia going into hot outside or exert efforts in warm-up and gym. So the GHK copper, yes, is bound in the peptide, but eventually the peptide actually gets broken down and the copper is released. So it should not make you copper deficient if you take GHK copper because through metabolism of the GHK, what did it say for glycine, histidine, and I don't know, I forgot. Anyway, those amino acids eventually get cleaved off, and then the copper is released. So if you supplement with a lot of zinc, yeah, then you can increase your copper levels and get side effects. So an easy way to circumvent that is by taking 2 to 5 milligrams of zinc or copper picolinate, and then these issues should go away. Yeah. You must have been really copper deficient then if you get like hot outside, exerting effort, warm-ups in the gym. Yeah. Well, I hope you can fix it with some copper supplementation. But I think GHK copper, I mean, my copper levels were absolutely beautiful in GHK copper when I ran it for side enhancement purposes. You know? Jacob, I followed your protocol and now I am a father. I hope that's what you wished for. I followed your protocol now that I know. Yeah, so so many people follow these fertility protocols over the last couple of years, and a lot of them are fathers now. So I am the daddy of all. Yeah. Chilean Lutheran Evangelion. Lutheran Evangelion. Been tapering up my testosterone to 375 milligrams per week. So far, all fine, except for the chest acne, which made me consider running Accutane at some points. Any tips for possible joint pain? Thank you. So, again, acne is multifactorial. Please address your diet. Dairy products like cheese or whey protein or chocolate or anything else that contains dairy. Yes, that includes cheeseburgers, unfortunately. It's just pimple food, so avoid that first. Yogurt is fine. That has probiotics, especially probiotic yogurt, as the name implies. And that helps. Daily microadministrations to keep your serum levels as stable as possible, because in these hormonal fluctuations, if you do like 125 Monday, Wednesday, Friday, in these small hormonal fluctuations in between your injections, your estradiol might surge, your DHT might go up, your testosterone might drop. That might cause acne. Chest acne can be caused by sweat, and if you use a razor to shave or you trim your hair a little bit too tight, you can get chest acne from that as well, because you're abrasing the skin or you have ingrown hairs. And then, proper hygiene also. So Accutane is basically a last resort. I have several videos about acne discussing all of this, hygiene, hormonal fluctuations, and then Accutane protocols. And if you keep the Accutane low at 10 milligrams once or twice per week, or maybe 3 times per week, so 10 to 30 milligrams per week, then you should not get any joint pain. It shouldn't affect your libido. It might make your skin a little bit thinner, which is usually a warm welcome. A little bit of a cosmetic effect, but when I kept the dose low, I never got joint pain. And with 375 tests, I think that's more than enough to compensate for any kind of negative effect in your joints, because your estradiol is probably also a little bit higher. But if you're not using an AI right now, then estradiol might be so high that you get acne from it. So, multifactorial. I'm not even going to explain. I'm just going to ban you. I'm sick of this shit. You children need to get the fuck out of here. Australian HCG. Fuck off, man. Go play in traffic. It's fucking retarded. I'm not even going to explain it. You know or you don't know. Put this meme on your phone and then go to the US. You get fucking kicked out. Unemployed gamer. Steve banned me even though I gave him a super chat. Yeah, because you banned me about a combination of Austrian and HGH. That's what little kids do, man. Shut the fuck up and get the fuck out of my chat, bitch. Not you, unemployed gamer. I'm thinking Anavar only. Oh, Jesus Christ. You know what? You're banned too. Bye. Thanks for your money, retard. Anavar only cycle. I want to do Anavar only cycle. Fuck off. Steve, I think I remember you talking about Telmisartan and PPR gamma receptor action. Is it worth opting for 400 ARB to avoid this? If you don't want the PPR gamma receptor action, then other ARBs which are not known to have this effect would be preferred. I'm assuming. Not that Telmisartan gives you any kind of fat loss, but if you're worried for somehow, some way, then take another ARB. Blue Collar Bodybuilding, what's up, bro? Hope you're doing well, brother. Hope the daddy life is as good as you hoped for you and your wife, doing good and healing up. Yeah, it's so far so good. It's only been 10 days. So, but we're having a lot of fun changing diapers and, getting the breast feeding going because, my wife ended up with a cesarean because her blood pressure was pretty high after the first contraction. So we felt there was a bit of a risk. So we opted for cesarean and not wait 12 hours to get the blood pressure down because it was like 185 over 140. A bit much. There's only so much you can accomplish with diet and lifestyle and magnesium supplementation. Because she was a little bit borderline high. It started getting higher and higher and higher during the pregnancy. And then we were at the hospital, just kind of chilling out, waiting for the contractions, doing a non-stress test. And the entire blood pressure go up even more. And then at the first real contraction, 185 over 140. I was like, you're going in for fucking surgery because I don't want you to have an aneurysm. So she ended up with a cesarean, but she's healing well, walking around, no problem. My wife is, former competitor, so they can take a lot more than average population. And it was just slowly getting the breastfeeding started, so she's producing more milk by the day. And I'm breastfeeding the milk that we get from the breast pumping or the formula mixed in between. And that's all going well, man. Yeah, diaper changes, going through the checklist if she's a little bit fussy. Right? Did you pee in your diaper? Did you poop in your diaper? Are you hungry? It's too cold, too hot, do you need to get swaddled? Do you just need attention? And then one of those options usually works. And then it's good. Tips on CGC 1295 ran with ipamorelin versus testosterone monotherapy. Also, what do you recommend for high protocol? It's just like retard day. I'm going to ban all these fuckers, man. I don't do high protocols for 18 years old. I know the high protocols, period. But thanks for your daughter, man. This is a hard lesson for you to learn. All you fuckers that ask me about oral-only cycles or high protocols, I'll take your money and ban you for life. Get fucked. This is not what we do here. This is not what we do. Can't believe I had to fucking ban 3 people in 10 minutes. All right, I'm going to relieve myself. Then we're going to continue. I'll be right back. All right, we are back. Audio's on. No patience, man. Yeah, all these teens, they're insecure as fuck, right? So they want to boast their heights and take peptides, and it's so cool on TikTok to talk about this openly, but you're come to the wrong address. I'm a father, I'm 40 years old. I don't agree with that. I put it fat on my website that I don't do high protocols, and if you come to me with super chats, it doesn't matter. I'll take the money and ban you. Learn the hard way, man. You learn the hard way. Ah, Steve's a piece of shit. Oh, it can be a lot worse. Steve, how's the SS-31 and Mots-C combo experiment going? I discussed this a little bit earlier, so I don't want to repeat it again. But it's going well. Yeah, it's going well. It's going well. So use the timestamps to find it. Tsunami Sensei, welcome to the Vigorous crew, bro. Kids today are wrecking themselves for likes and females. I mean, I wrecked myself for females too. At least I got laid, though. At least I got laid. Yeah, but that's, young people are going to do what young people are going to do. I made plenty of mistakes as well, but I never went into somebody's live stream asking for like weird advice that could, like, imagine if I do a height protocol. I mean, I'm it's a huge liability, and people ask oral only cycles are kids, so it's a huge liability. I don't want to do it, man. Guys, I got too much to lose and nothing to gain. So what's the point? Just fucking block them. It's, it's not what we do here. This channel is for intelligent people trying to level up. And that's why we make it complicated. So her name is Vigorous Jadzia. Wishing you all the best. Now her name is just Jadzia with a couple middle names and a last name. Vigorous is an alias, bro. Come on now. But yeah, it's Jadzia from Star Trek Deep Space Nine. But it has Polish backgrounds, apparently. So many tutorials on orals on the channel. All the information is there. You know what's funny? If you go to Perplexity or ChatGPT or Grok, you can literally ask there, and it will write you a protocol, dude, that's so good. It's so good, and it's free. And the AI doesn't give a fuck if you're 15 and follow that protocol. It doesn't give a shit, but I do. I have a lot more to lose than to gain. So, yeah, it's not my problem. Steve's on fire today. I'm always on fire, man. I'm always on fire. All right, let's scroll up a little bit. See if there's anything interesting. Plus melanin peptide, melanotan 2. It can make you lethargic. Maybe a little bit. Have you made a video about curing carpal tunnel syndrome, ulnar nerve in the elbow? No. Not really. So funny, people ask, have you made a video about this super particular medical condition that nobody suffers from? No. No, bro. Saw a post from a guy who ended up diabetic from using growth hormone as a teen without knowing he was doing. Yeah, that's karma for you. They're all too lazy to do research, and then they should do some other activity. Yeah. Steve, crashed Estradiol multiple times, now stuck with light sensitivity in the eyes, temple pressure, neuro overstim, especially post-caffeine, glutathione, 500 milligrams intramuscular, 2 grams intravenous, give me a relief, but rebound hits in 1 to 2 days. And you're just a member, so you don't need to super chat again. But honestly, dude, this is not something that I'm familiar with, so I don't really know how to solve this. I'm assuming that you should bring your estradiol levels back up to normal levels and then see. I mean, why would an antioxidant help with that when it goes through completely different pathways? Unless it acts as an electron donor, then NAD plus should help. Nicotinamide mononucleotides. But no, this is not something that I'm familiar with, man. Sorry, like carbonuracid, post-oxidative stress, bad sleep, stims worsening. Should I run glutathione long term? 150 tests, no, I structurally fine per ophthalmologist. I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand in which pathway this glutathione would help with a problem like this. So I don't know, man. I would have to see a boatload of blood work, and honestly, I'm not familiar with this, so I can't really help there. Sorry, bro. I know a lot, but I don't know everything. Steve, ended my cycle at 500 tests, 210 tren, 30 milligrams super dropper last 2 weeks. Blood were solid, LT-ST around 50, so that's normal. HCl was crushed, but everything else looked fine. Possibly some just tolerated better. Yeah, it could be. Or you used the ancillaries well, and you lived the lifestyle, and you took your health supplementations well. Or you're young, like, you know, if you're 25 years old running a cycle like this, it will not end up the same way when you're 40 years old. So enjoy it while it lasts. Enjoy your drugs were fake, but it's probably not the case. Otherwise, you'll be complaining about making no gains. Yeah, but it happens, man. Like, when I was younger, I could run a lot more gear at much higher dosages and much more toxic gear than when I was older. And now my blood work is just, I don't know, not as good as it used to be even on TRT. So that's why I always tell you guys, like, do as much research as you can and use these drugs while you tolerate it. And then as you get older, hopefully you have a foundation that you can maintain with an easy protocol. Like I can maintain 230 pounds, 235 pounds on TRT. You know, I mean, it's pretty okay. It's crazy? No, but it's good. I got veins everywhere. I look pretty jacked. You know, I'm not super shredded, but it's respectable physique nonetheless. You know, people freak out when they see me in the gym. So mission accomplished there. Yeah, but if I run a cycle like that, my AST will be double yours, and my HDL will be 0, obviously. My AST LT will be double yours. Yeah, it's, you know, even with all the ancillaries. So enjoy it while it lasts. Make all the gains you can. Polish beef patty, congrats on having the baby. First off, congrats on having the baby, Daddy Steve. I'm going to Bangkok and Phuket, looking for the best gyms available. Any other recommendations? Gear, food. So you look like you qualify for the Thailand starter kits. Shoot me a message on Instagram, and if your Instagram account is not empty, I will send you the Thailand starter kit. Bangkok, the best gyms are Muscle Factory, Boost Fitness, Unreal Gym, and The Track. And then there's a couple smaller gyms that are nice. And in Phuket, I think it's only Fitness Hero and Maximum Fitness in Patong. And then there's like some smaller gyms located all around. But dude, if you go to Google Maps, you type in gyms and fitness, you can probably figure out which gyms are good. Gear, again, the Thailand starter kit contains everything you need to know about the pharmacy scene here, but that's mostly for Bangkok and Pattaya. I have no idea which pharmacies are good in Phuket, so you have to ask around there. But I do know that the prices in Phuket for steroids are like twice the price that of Bangkok, because all these pharmacies get their stuff from Bangkok, and Phuket is just an overall super expensive place to go have your holiday. So if you want to buy something, buy in Bangkok. Food, Lava, El Gaucho, sushi places are usually good. There's so many restaurants here, man. There's so many restaurants. They have a Wolfgang Steakhouse here. Marriott Marquis has an excellent hotel buffet. Go on Saturday or Sunday brunch, or Saturday, all you can eat, basically. It's like $150. No, it's not. It's like 3,000 baht, I think. So that's $100, but it's like the best buffet you can get here. Man, there's so much to do here, man. Do some blood work, do some medical tourism, get your gyno cut out before you fly home. you can do anything here. Yeah, make sure you have a good time. Yeah, we could talk about Thailand for an hour. SLU and retatrutide on a cut. What to add for strength and size? So you want strength and size during a cut. You should be happy to maintain your size and not lose strength. But yeah, throw in the Anavar, bro. 100 milligrams per day. Steve, I'm on 200 tests, 400 Mastron, 50 milligrams Anavar, 200 milligrams retatrutide. I'm having a hard time sleeping because I pee like 2 to 4 times a night. I stopped drinking early enough before bed, using lots of melatonin. Thanks. Yeah, that's part of the game, man. Mastron makes you pee like crazy, especially with this ratio of testosterone to Mastron. Mirabegron, 150 milligrams per day relaxes the beta-3 adrenergic receptors in the bladder, allowing you to hold more urine. So you pee instead of 4 times, 2 times, but you pee the same volume as 4 times. So now you have double pees. That means that you're sitting on the toilet twice as long. Yeah. So when I was using Mirabegron at 150 milligrams per day, you're like, you only wake up to pee once, but then when you do go pee, you're sitting there like, fuck, when is it over? And you look at your phone, still not done. I'm still pissing, and then you're fully awake by the time you're done pissing, and then you have to fall asleep again. So, yeah, or you can use desmopressin. That's probably not what you want to do. So yeah, Mirabegron is the only medication that helps with nocturnia, nighttime peeing. Low white blood cells, seen a hematologist, no help. Any suggestions on TRT? So it's normal for your white blood cells to be low when you take steroids, because white blood cells are one of the few blood cells in your bloodstream that have androgen receptors, and it seems that TRT or supraphysiological levels of testosterone increase the active life of white blood cells, or shorten the active life of white blood cells, making serum concentrations a little bit less. So if you have 4,500, 5,000, million cells per cubic millimeter, then that's normal towards the low end of the reference range. If you have like 2,000, then you might want to do some cancer screening. And if you want to increase that, then 5 to 10 IUs growth hormone, which is a lot for TRT, that should be enough to bring it back to 6,000, 7,000. But it's very normal to have low white blood cell count on TRT or steroid cycles, because it alters, I think, the active life of white blood cells due to the androgen receptors that it has. So yeah, that's part of the game, man. Hey, Steve, for cosmetic benefits towards the end of a cut, would you rather add in 175 milligrams Primo or 175 milligrams Anavar per week? Towards the end, I would do the Anavar, 25 milligrams per day Anavar. Yeah, Anavar. Because you don't have to worry about the ester, so you get more milligrams of steroids. Yeah. Henry Carter, anecdotally, how profound are the acute strength gains from Anavar when taken sporadically in a pre-workout context? Well, it works, but not as good as the same amount of milligrams of Anadrol. But, yeah, they're profound in a dose-dependent fashion. So if you take 25 milligrams of Anavar, it's more pronounced than 10 milligrams, but not as pronounced as taking 50 milligrams. And comparing 25 milligrams of Anavar to 25 milligrams of Anadrol, then Anadrol is more pronounced than the same dose of Anavar. Yeah, so I hope I answer your question there. Like the stream, show your appreciation for free knowledge from Daddy Steve. Well, I got a lot of super chats, man. It's not free. Today's probably like $300 to $500 worth of super chats. So, yeah, it's worth to show up. And as always, stay jacked and healthy, my people. Yeah, stay jacked. Ooh. Fuck, it's getting less now. It's not as impressive as it used to be. But the skin looks good. That little hole is still there. Not too fat. Oh, don't ask me to show my abs, though. Hey, as long as I don't get a dad bod, I'm okay? Final opinion on Ngenla. I like Ngenla. It's practical. I didn't get any changes to my blood glucose or my fasting insulin, hemoglobin A1C, but I only ran it for 1 month. Blood glucose levels in between meals did not budge. I did a ketogenic diet in a slight caloric deficit. Obviously, I did cardio. I got a little bit leaner. Let's see. I got more water retention in my face compared to in my ankles. So my ankles, I had veins, but then my face got a little bit puffy. And if you go like back like two live streams, you see that my face is just a little bit full. And I'm kind of done with that. Like I did that off season last year, and then this year was, doing all of these experiments, and I want my face to be a little bit trimmer again. So I'm just off the GH for now and just trying to get leaner with, Retretutide and Mots-C and SLU-PP-332, the mitochondrial support stack, basically. Just use the non-stimulatory fat burners Maybe throwing a little bit of Mirabegron later in life, or later in this cut, for as much as I can cut, because well, my wife is bringing snacks home all the time, so I'm doing the best I can. But yeah, I liked Ngenla. I think it's practical during a cutting phase when you're following a ketogenic diet or fasting. The problem is that it has an 8-day half-life, and what I don't understand, and if anybody has blood work on this, and then we're going to wrap it up, I don't understand why Ngenla doesn't show up as growth hormone. So I did my growth hormone test 3 times, and my growth hormone is like 1.4, when normally it's around 3 to 4 or 5 nanograms per milliliter. My IGF-1 was 350, 375. IGF binding proteins like middle, like some middle top to the reference range. And it also didn't show up on beta HCG levels. Now, I have regular CMIA testing here, not ECLIA or RMIA, reactive immunoassay. I don't have that available. So I asked Chase Arons for his blood work, because when Chase took Ngenla, his growth hormone levels were like off the charts. So it's weird because my IGF-1 levels increased. Now, obviously, Ngenla that I took didn't contain IGF-1. I produced more IGF-1 because on 10 I use generics or 10 I use pharmaceutical grade, I get about 350 to 400 nanograms per milliliter on my IGF-1 level. So it's definitely a downstream effect. But I'm very surprised that on this testing that I have, which exogenous growth hormone, whether that's generic or pharmaceutical, that showed up as an elevated growth hormone, but this Ngenla at 2 different labs on 3 different tests. So I did Bria Labs twice and then 1 time at Semitive Hospital. Also used CMAA testing. That was an expensive test because it's a private hospital. And growth hormone was low. At first I thought it was a lab error. And I was like, what the fuck? I mean, I'm taking 10 IUs, an equivalent of 10 IUs of growth hormone per day. At least it should be elevated. But I guess the way it detects or breaks down is not the same as generic. So I'm surprised about that. You know, so it's yeah, it's surprising. I liked it, but long term, I'm not really sure. Why so against Anavar only cycles? Where did I make an Anavar only cycle video? Showing its effectiveness and the rebound of hormones. I never made a video like that, dude. I made a best dose of Anavar where I discussed the scientific evidence that in some scientific evidence, luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone levels of don't go down after 8 weeks on Anavar. And I specifically remembered that I said I did not condone Anavar only cycles. So you're either pulling this out of your ass or you're trying to start something. And otherwise, send me the video with timestamps, man. If I can prove it. You want to quote me? I quote things all the time, and I post the fucking citations. So put your money where your mouth is. You have 5 minutes. And otherwise, I label that as trash talking. Any advice for females starting growth hormone? Start low, build your way up. I discussed this in 3 or 4 videos that are specifically made for females wanting to use performance-enhancing drugs. And yeah, I'm all for it, man. My wife ran plenty of growth hormone in her days, and she loved it. All right, this is the last one. No more super chats after this. Oh, there's one more, but already prepaid. On Mots-C and SS-31 in the off-season for insulin sensitivity and glucose uptake, I have SLU-PP-332 as well. Should I save for fat loss phase or add it in now? Knowing it can produce reactive oxygen species. I mean, it's an exercise mimetic, so it probably helps to keep you leaner and increase your power output because you have more mitochondria and thus more ATP and thus more energy. So it can't hurt to experiment with that entire stack now, and then you keep it in as your calories come down. Now, the reactive oxygen species, you can obviously mitigate with N-acetylcysteine or vitamin C or ubiquinol or taurine. Estradiol is an antioxidant in the endothelial. Or injectable glutathione. So as long as you're on top of your antioxidants, which I discuss in the fertility videos and the mitochondrial support stack videos, then you should be fine. Right? NAD plus acts as antioxidants to a certain extent. Glutathione, NAD plus, vitamin C, taurine, all these things you put in place. Eat healthy, and don't subject yourself to unnecessary additional oxidative stress like smoking or cigars, what I occasionally do. So, it's you should be fine, man. Experiment with it now. Why wait? Because in the end, Mots-C, SS-31, and SLU are okay fat burners, but they're not great fat burners. They help. SLU helps more as a fat burner than Mots-C and SS-31. But are they like super great fat burners? Are they super effective like retitrutide, which is technically not a fat burner, but mostly an appetite manager? But are they great like clenbuterol, for example? No way, man. Doesn't come close. And clenbuterol is way cheaper. You just have to sit through the side effects. Lowering white blood cells and inflammation is priority number 1, and muscle gain secondary. What drugs and doses should you take and avoid? Is estrogen inflammatory? No. As far as I know, estradiol has anti-inflammatory effects, unless you really let it ramp high, and then inflammatory prostaglandins and all these downstream cytokines will be released, and that will cause an inflammatory effect. And of course might cause cancer, which can be pretty inflammatory. Lowering white blood cells is... lowering white blood... You have to find out what the root cause is, man, because there's so many things that can increase white blood cells and inflammation. So it's not necessarily about the drugs and dosages, but it's about figuring out what causes this issue and then avoiding that. But there's 1,000 things that can increase white blood cells, like whatever you're injecting. If it's unsterile, can increase or skew your white blood cell count and differential. Inflammation can be smoking, drinking, carrier oils, which I discussed in the carrier oil deep dive. There's so many things, man. So just go through the list and remove all the stuff that could potentially cause it, and then you should be okay. Because again, there's a million and one things that could cause these markers to be elevated. All right, guys, let's throw in the towel there. This was fun. Sorry that I had to ban so many people, but there's a limit to what I can do. And I don't do height protocols. I don't do oral only cycles. And if I see something about oestrogen and HCG, I'm just not in the mood. It doesn't matter if you super chat me $100. I'll take your $100 and still ban you. Okay, guys, enjoy your weekend. Tomorrow I will have some sushi with my wife and daughter, and it feels absolutely amazing to say that. I will do boring family stuff from now on, so no more crazy adventures, no more crazy shit. Now it's full-time daddy mode, and I'll do as much work for this YouTube channel as I can. But again, please be patient. I'm really enjoying this daddy stuff right now, and if that means that the content is a little bit thin and the Vigorous Q&As are sporadic, then, well, it's not like I don't have 1,000 videos on this YouTube channel that you can watch in the meantime, right? And I think I just go through the timestamps of the previous Vigorous Q&As, and it's very likely that your question is answered there in one way or another. But yeah, once a month, once every 2 weeks, I'll try to show up and do my part, because, you got to do something, right? All right, let's leave it there. Enjoy your weekend. Peace out. We'll see you guys the next time I feel like it. Take it easy.